Here we're asked which expressions below are equivalent. So I'm really going to want to go through all 6 of these and simplify it as much as I can and see which ones are equivalent to each other. So probably going to have to bounce around a little bit here, but I'm going to try and fit this as best as possible. So if I have 3/4 squared, it's the same thing as 3/4 times itself, which is 9/16. And doesn't look like I can simplify that any further. So I'm just going to leave that for A. For B here, so I have 2 minus 1/5. So I got to get a common denominator here. So I'm going to multiply 2 by 5/5 to get 10/5 minus 1/5 on the top. And then the same idea on the bottom. I want a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 5/5 so that I can actually add these together. So on the top, when I simplify, I get 9/5. On the bottom, I get 16/5. After subtracting 1/5 and then adding 1/5. And now I'm going to use what I know about dividing fractions to do 9/5 multiplied by the reciprocal. And now, as I'm doing this here, I'm multiplying across. Before I do this, though, if you remember simplifying fractions, if I multiply these across, I get 2 big numbers, then I would try and simplify. I'm going to try and simplify first, because if I were to rearrange this a little bit, I'd see that the 5/5 is just 1, or these can cancel. So this one here is equal to 9/16, which you'll notice A and B are probably going to be together. For C here, we have -3 to the power of -1. So when I'm doing this problem, what we got to be careful of is this is very different than this. So it's not -3 to the power of -1. It's almost like saying -1 times 3 to the power of -1. The reason that that is different is because order of operations, our exponents have to be dealt with before multiplication is dealt with. So really, our answer here is going to be, if I change this 3 to the power of -1 to its reciprocal, because that's what negative exponents do, it's -1 times 1/3 to the power of +1, which is just 1/3. And now if I multiply those together, I see that C is -1/3. Now let's scroll on over here to D here real quick. In D, couple things I got to do here. So again, I need to know what negative exponents do, and they take the reciprocal, and it's only being applied to the 5. It's not being applied to anything else. So if I were to rewrite this, it would really be 2 minus 1/5 over 3 plus 1/5, because I'm just dealing with this negative exponent here. The other thing that we should notice is that this ends up matching exactly what B is. So if I were to actually go through and do all this math over again, we should realize that this is going to be equal to 9/16. For E here, we got 2/3 minus 1/3. I'm going to get a common denominator real quick by multiplying by 3/3. And then just subtracting the tops to get -1/3. And then lastly, we got F here, which I have 8/9 minus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get common denominator by multiplying by 9/9. I'm also going to get common denominator on the bottom by multiplying 3/3. So I get 8/9 minus 18/9. The bottom here becomes 6/3 plus 4/3. 8 minus 18 is -10. And 6 plus 4 is 10. So now I have to divide fractions again. So I'm going to take -10/9, multiply it by the reciprocal, which again, these 10s will cancel and leave me with -3/9, which is just -1/3. So what we should see here when we kind of zoom back out which ones are equivalent, we should see that A is equal to B, which is equal to D, and C is equal to E, which is equal to f. So on these ones here, we have these three that are all equivalent and these three.